evening. I think we're live. I've got a thumbs up from the camera woman. I'm hoping we are. So first craft along, and I'm just sitting here chilled with lots of stuff, and I hope you are too. And here's the plan of action. It's just gonna be chilled. We're gonna take our time. It's not a telly program. It's not that we've got a plan. We've got something we're going to work through, but I want to hear from you. So if you can feedback and you can let me know if I'm going too fast, if there's anything you want to know. We've got my iPad set up. We've got Maria's iPad set up, and we're not 100% sure what we're doing. So we might need some feedback. I'm hoping you're seeing this, because that would be a bad start if you're not. So hopefully you're sitting like me with all this stuff around you, and hopefully also your drink of choice might happen to be coffee and some cake of some type. You were warned, we need some cake. I am going retro with me fondant fancies. I think you absolutely, I'll leave that to you. But my recommendation for today, we're having a retro theme. We're also going to be talking fuzzy felt, also retro, and part of my youth, a big part of my youth. So the request was that we posted on Facebook and asked what you wanted to see, and the request came back big style. We looked at the most popular ones, and was backgrounds and composition, which is really good. So I think that's a fabulous place to start, because if you like these, we're planning on doing one a month minimum. So let me know if they're worth it for you, and if you're enjoying them, and what you would like. Because I'm just going to talk at you. You know I will. But I'm not going to stop. I might pass out because I'll be talking that much. But I'll try and remember to breathe. Please remind me to breathe. That would be a good thing. And I'll be talking at you. What I would say is filter. Is if you've been to any of the workshops, this is something that we tell you at the start. You get a lot of talking. It's up to you to just keep what you want and let go what you don't. A big funnel and filter. So my workshops are all about information as well as doing. So that's what you're going to get, and what we're going to do is we're going to work through those two things that you've asked for, the backgrounds and the composition. But there's be bits where we're going to do stuff together, and bits that I'm going to just show you and talk to you about. So like I say, let me know what you want to know and what you need to, if you want me to slow down, if you want me to speed up. It's all about interaction. We've got interaction, Maria.
We have got interaction.
Woohoo, we have interaction. Is it good interaction?
It's good interaction.
Yay. Yes, like shut up and get on with it. It wouldn't be the first time. I'm just doing this because I'm not telling you, look, I'm stirring me coffee. I'm having a little wander around the living room. Also, you will know Willow, the little cockapoo. She's here as well, so she may bark at some point. Little doggies tend to do that. So if she does, then the camera woman, technician, that'll be Maria, will try and calm her down. But it's all good, isn't it? It's all good. So first thing we're going to do, hope you've got sparkle pens of some kind. Here are my sparkle pens. I've got them in the trees. Always, I'm going to talk to you. I'm just going to talk to you about all the stuff we're using, and like I say, everything that I don't have a chance to tell you on TV. So sparkle pens, you've probably heard me say, lie them flat. This technique, the things that we're going to do today will work also with aqua tints and the bottled aqua tints, because loads of you got bottled aqua tints, and good on you, because they're blooming brilliant. Nah, I love me aqua tints. But obviously it's something that we don't do anymore in the bottles, but we're doing them in the pens. So all these techniques will work with all of those things. It needs a watercolour product that's vibrant, that's bright, that's fluid, that's translucent, and all of those things that you hopefully have got at home. So whatever you've got, it's all good. Oh, we've got a question.
No question, just hello to everybody from the USA.
Well, hey, hello, across the pond. I hope you have your version of fondant fancies. I'm going to say Twinkies.
And Brenda says she loves your hair.
Oh, cheers. Yeah, casual. It's not done much. I'm just sitting chilling at home, cashed out as you do. Got my slippers on. So, back to the sparkle pens. Could be aqua tint pens, could be your aqua tint in your bottle, whatever liquid watercolour medium you've got to be watercolour. Store anything that's got either glitter in it or mica flat on the larger surface area. Because when I come to use this lovely, gorgeous, for example, Pink Breeze, I want to shake it before I'm going to use it. If there's a solid in there, it's going to sink. All right, mica, glitter, all going to sink. So if it sinks to a large surface area, like this one is, it means that when you shake it, it's going to shake up quicker, then it'll form a little plug at the bottom. So that's a good thing. Now I have sets. I have my Sheena set of watercolours. Hopefully some of you, if not a lot of you, have got them. That will be Willow. She says she has hers. Yes, just because she borrowed mine. So I've got Cool and Calm and I've got Hot and Spicy. I split them up into 2 sets so that we've got warm colours and cool colours. And the basic, we'll talk to you a little bit about colour mixing as well. I'm going to pack in as much as I can. First thing to do with any colouring product, make colouring charts. They ain't pretty, but they're functional. That's what you need to do. Any colouring product, whether it's something from Spectrum Noir or any other brand out there, you're limited. People, you know, the manufacturers, the packaging people have to then work out how to make little bits of plastic look as close as they can to the stuff that's in the pen. Sometimes they get close, sometimes they don't. So the best way to do is make your own colour charts, because then you know exactly what you're using. So they're my colour charts I'm going to be following. I'm not going to talk much more about them in a minute, other than that's how I would store them. And if they're at hand, I'll use them. If they're in the cupboard, I'll probably lose them. I'll not know where they are. And I'll just think, I'll find something that's close at hand. So these are worthy of desk space. Now, speaking of desk space, I'm not a tidy person. Anybody will say that who knows me. And will agree vigorously that I said these. So, but when I'm working, I always start off tidy. You'll see on TV, I always have my paper, always kitchen paper, because I'm mostly using watercolour products, and I'm going to want to blot my brushes, which are always normal, not water brushes. Not expensive, but good quality brushes. The synthetic fibre, these are the Royal and Langnickel in the UK. That's what I think you get them in the States as well. But what we're going to use primarily for this little crafting session is a number 6 round and a 1-inch flat brush. They're your go-tos here, so hopefully you've got them. Have those at hand. I've got my water container. Now, it's a big water container here. You probably don't need that much. It's a bit overkill. But it means that I haven't got to keep getting out and swapping the water out. And low centre of gravity. My fear is to have one of those little plastic cups on live telly, spill it, falls on the extension lead that you don't turn the counter, and that's the channel off for the day. So that, if it's going to happen to anybody, it'll be me. So low centre of gravity is always the way to go. So these plastic containers are all good. Ink pads we're going to be using. We're going to be using Stayz-on, because thing is when you're full bleaching, I have found that Stayz-on doesn't lift any ink at all. VersaFine is a great ink for if you want black line, and it's oil based, where it stays on solvent based. So when you're using Stayz-on, always keep the lid on and always keep that little plastic bit that's inside on as well. It's there for a reason. If you take that off, the pad will go dry. So there's a choice of Stayz-on or VersaFine. Both do the same thing, water resistant black inks. However, for what we're doing today, I'm going to park my VersaFine. And the reason being, when you full bleach, I found that, so which means adding water to a background that's already coloured, sometimes the line can lift. I think it's just that highly pigmented that it sometimes, and with it being oil-based, it dries slower. Don't know, but the pigment can be drawn out of it. But Stayz-on doesn't tend to, so I'm going to park my VersaFine. The other ink you're going to need is a water-based ink, so the opposite of your Stayz-on. So you could use, I mentioned black soot, distress ink in the list. If you've got black oxide, distress oxide, so somebody asked if they could use the oxides. I thought, well, you know what, let's use my oxides. Plus also my black soot distress ink's a bit dry and I forgot to replace it. I think we have a question.
How do you clean up after using Stayz-on? That's from Donna.
Oh, right, from Donna. Well, there is a solvent cleaner. If you're using VersaFine ink, Stick Away is brilliant. In Crafts Companion Stick Away, this stuff here, I clean my ink pads if I'm using anything like Versamark, you know, the embossing ink, or your VersaFine, any oil-based ink. This works brilliantly, but Stayz-on, you kind of you need a proper Stayz-on cleaner. You need to get that. It's a different solvent. Stick Away takes a lot of it off, but not all of it off, like off your rocker blocks and things. So I would get a proper cleaner for that one. I have used nail polish remover as well, but you got to be careful because it can make your rocker blocks a bit frosty if you leave it on there. You got to just put it on and wipe it off. So try and error, but you're safe with this Stayz-on cleaner. So they're the ink pads we're going to use. We've got the pens we're going to use. We've got everything set up. We've got brushes. I've got my applicator, as we mentioned, because we're going to do some inking of the surface of the card using also glycerine. Now, for those of you across the pond, and I know it's like we could call them different things, like household emulsions, completely different. And you were talking about it's like a different thing, but glycerine is glycerine, and I know that I've been checking that. Where was it? Wasn't Walmart? Was it?
Yes, it was Walmart.
It was Walmart. You'll get it's just vegetable glycerine, and I've checked on Amazon and US as well, and that's where you can get your glycerine. I put mine into a little bottle that I also got on Amazon. They're really cheap as chips. We got them for workshops, Donna and I, because to be honest, if you've got a big bottle of glycerine, it's trickier to handle and to pour little bits out. You've got to use some way of getting the thick, gloopy stuff out the bottle. Whereas these little things were cheap as chips. I mean, under £1 a bottle, easily. We bought like 50 of them or something. And you get the little stopper bits like this that are separate. You got the lids which click in there, and it now becomes something like a real crafting tool that I can carry around. It's portable because I'm using this a lot. Because where I would use my distress inks, this is where I'm using my glycerine now. It's all good. So, glycerine. A blending tool, whichever one you use, these are my things of choice. When they're dirty, I wash them in just a soapy, like dishwashing soap, and let them dry. Boom, you can put them in the tumble dryer even. I've done that, but put them in the net or you'll be finding them forever. So we'll talk about other stuff as we go on. The card that I posted, plan is to talk to you about composition, as I said, and also background. But I also posted, we posted a really gorgeous card using the stamps that I said that we'd use as well to demonstrate those things. And a few of you said, oh, I can't wait to make the card. And I thought, oh, wasn't necessarily going to make the card, but guess what? We're going to make the card. But we're still going to cover everything we've said. So the card was created by Debbie from my design team. She's amazing, DT member, one of me inkoids. And she is just, a composition and colour, use of colour is just phenomenal. And I love this card, and I'm hoping you do too. Can we see that okay, camera woman?
Yes, we can.
Lovely. We're going to zoom in, by the way, so you'll see. This is me just talking set up. Then we're going to get close to when we crack on with what we're going to do. So this is what we're going to talk about. And we're going to do the whole card, hopefully together. Might take till midnight, but hey, it's fine. Just lots of coffee. So we'll pop that there because I'm going to have to refer to that. But what I thought we'd do to kick off is a couple of really simple backgrounds. So please get yourself prepared. I hope you've prepared them. Some either Sheena card or watercolour card. And I like to work in squares. When we come to composition, I'll explain why. But square, about 6-inch square card. Great start. Most of the time, the stamps that I draw, and I know also Donna scale, fit really well on that size card. Obviously, you can be smaller, whatever, if you want, but this fits great on this card. And so we've got the pens, we've got your card. We are going to do a couple of techniques that are just messy, just background techniques, just to get you stuck in there. Sometimes you feel like you want to craft, but you're not really, your mojo's not there. Happens to everybody. Some days it's just like, I want to do something. But something I don't have to think too much. That's my usual state, is not thinking too much. So making a messy background is a great way to start. So I've got my card. Has to be a good quality card, at least 300 GSM. In the US, it's heavy, just heavyweight card. I know it's different there, but and low chalk content. Because if your card has got a lot of chalk in there, you won't be able to see it, but you'll know when you start to use it. It'll grab your paint. When you're using paint across the surface, it won't blend across the surface. It'll just stick, and it makes you blend with distress inks or anything, glycerine even, trickier. We've got that. We're going to do a little easy peasy bit of cling film. You can't, I mean, we're not reinventing the wheel here, but we recently did these Donna and I on workshops. And, you see this all the time, but on TV, you don't get the chance to really talk through it and why you're doing and what you're doing. You just do it, and then you've got to move on to something else. I know Chandler are brilliant for giving us lots of time, but we can talk more about it as we go. So we have got cling film scrunched up and hopefully still retaining some of those little creases in it. If you're going to put it on the card flat, then you might as well not bother because it won't do anything. So a bit of cling film ready. plastic wrap or whatever. I'm trying to be like multilingual here. So I'm going to pick some colours, and I'm going to choose either colours from the warm set or the cool set of pens, the hot and spicy or the cool and calm. And the reason being, I've split them so that they're going to work nicely and blend together. We'll explain more about these as we go on. If you want to know more, let me know. If you want me to show you, talk to you more about what hot and cold colours mean, let me know that. And if you want me to show you how to make a skin tone, believe it or not, out of yellow, blue and red, those three colours, in a couple of steps we can make a skin tone. I can show you that if that's useful for you. I did it in a workshop just a couple of days ago and everybody was loving it. If you can mix that from there, then you fear nothing. They're the primary colours, by the way. We talk about primary colours: yellow, blue and red. And you need to know that you have those colours if you buy any paint set. So across these two sets we're covered, we know we've got the primary colours, but that's what we'll come back to at some point too. So card, pick three colours. We want a dark, a medium and a light colour. Let's do warm to start with. Let's do a warm set here. So I'm going to use, out of the hot and spicy set, I'm going to use some spiced cherry. And I'm definitely going to use this gorgeous, what is it called? Golden Sun. I can't remember what I called them. These are all, by the way, these colours aren't repeated in any of the other Crafters Companion sets of pens. I picked them from scratch, brand new colours. So, and I want a mid-tone somewhere in between. I think I'm going to use this, well, let's use that one. Let's use Lava Red. So three hot, fiery colours. I could use greens, but if I use reds and greens together, because they're opposite on the colour wheel, we're not going to lay back too much about the colour wheel, but just a couple of things you know, you'll get brown. So we're not going to mix those. We'll either use the green and yellow or the oranges and yellow. So first thing, give them a shake. Get your brush together. I'm hoping you're doing this with me. Alright, hope you're all shaking them. And then we're going to take, always start with your lighter colour, because when you put the lighter colour down you can avoid it. Now what I'm doing is I'm squeezing these sparkle pens a little bit, and I'm getting quite a lot of colour out of there. That's the beauty of these as opposed to like your aqua markers. You can't squeeze a solid barrel pen, but with these and with the aqua tints you can. And I'm splodging colour on here. Bright, vibrant, bright colour. Now, more of the yellow and less of the dark. Oh, well, I said less. Ship sailed, look at that. Yeah. Hello. Squeeze a bit too much, then I'll blame the coffee. Right, so now I'm going to take my large flat brush and I'm going to start splodging this colour, patting. It's not a brushing action, it's a patting with lots of water. To get this technique, the solid technique or the cling film technique to work properly, which is the biggest reason that it doesn't work, we need it to be really wet. If it's not really wet, nothing happens. The paint won't move on the surface, it won't get caught in the little channels of the cling film, and when we come to do the salt will push it away, drag it in and cause these little pits and interesting things going on in there. So we've got a lot of liquid on there, and we've got a lot of paint moving around on the surface. So you're going to take a cling film, that's the secret, and you're going to pop it on your background, scrunch it up, because that's where you're going to get the interest in the facets and things moving on. And what you're hoping to see is, you see where these lines, hopefully, you know what, I wonder if we should zoom in now. Maria, can we zoom in? We'll, hang on, we're going to want to zoom in for you. So you've done enough of me talking now, we're just going to crack on and do it. How does that sound? So we're just moving this around so you can see the paint gathered in the creases of the cling film. That's what's going to give it the interest when we remove the cling film later. Have you got that there now?
Yep, just about.
Fabulous. And this is one of those techniques that you can't speed up, you can't hurry it, like Diana Ross would tell you, like love, we cannot hurry this. So we're going to pop this to one side and just let it dry. We can, after about an hour we can force dry it a little bit, but that's why I wanted to do this first. So bright, fiery, gorgeous colours, Still see the yellow glowy there. We've got some darker red. If it's all one colour, you kind of, well, that's not what you want. You want a bit of interest. So we'll pop that to one side. I would never normally wipe this up. I'd get another piece of card and pick it up and direct to paper and create another background and just keep, as you know, and then pop it to one side, spritz it and keep picking it up. But just so that we can move on, that's another background there for you. We'll wipe it up and we'll do the salt background. So this is just, you know, getting your hand in, getting comfortable again, having a bit of a play. So I'm going to use for this one, I'm going to use the Pink Breeze, which is a gorgeous bright pink. I'm going to use the Chilled Ocean and Winter Night. So 3, again, different colours. And again, I'm going to start with my lighter colours. I'm going to start with the pink, then the pale blue, and then the dark blue. You give it a shake. Yes, do we have a question?
No question. Are people keeping up though? If you need me to slow down or Sheena's to slow down, then just say so and I'll pick it up.
Yeah, because what we can do is, what I'll do, here's what we'll do. We'll do this background as well. I'll put salt on and then we'll have a little bit. I'll eat a cake for you. How about that? And drink some coffee. And then you can let me know if you've caught up. I'll still talk, of course.
Slow down a bit, Sheena, Christine says.
Okay, Christine. That'll mean more cake and coffee then. Coffee might speed me up. I should have had chamomile tea. Right, so, same thing. Splodging on the light colour. Squeezing it. What I'm not doing, see me slow down there, is scrubbing across the surface of the card. I'm pressing my pen so that some of the liquid comes out. My mission here, and I know this, and however much I say it, when we say it, is to get the colour on here as quickly as possible, because even with a great quality card like Crafts Companion watercolour card, Sheena card, it will start to set and grab the colour. So it's not the time to ponder your motivation for this or what it's all about. Life, just get the colour on. That's all we need to do. And the same deal, pat it, but pat starting. See what I wanted to do there, which I didn't, was leave some of that pink untouched. We want to leave some of the lighter area, because you can always darken, but lightening is a whole other ball game. So just get that paint moving across there. This is why I said I wanted those big huge buckets of water. Can you see how, because these colours that I chose for my sets are intense undiluted colours, there's no pastels in there, your water's going to need changing quite a bit. But you know what, just shout up if we need I have to eat another cake or something, you know, give you a bit of time. I'm just a martyr to the cause. I'll do it for you. That's all I can say. Right, so more, again, lots of liquid. And if you think, well, have I got enough liquid, it's starting to dry, you can always, if you're running away from it, it's getting dirty, just spritz with you spritz your water bottle, and then you're going to take some salt. Now, any salt works here. The salt that's the most troublesome one is the one that isn't ground at all, you know, the coarse, because that's like boulders. When you shake it on, it bounces off. You could be injured. So I would use, this is the fine sea salt, okay, and it works great. But table salt works. All salt will work. You'll get different little kind of effects with it. That's what you want to see. Colour pooling around the salt. You want to see where the salt looks dark. If it's all white, you haven't got it wet enough. But what you can do still, even after you've got it on, if you think, oh no, I forgot that bit that Douglas was prattling on about, just wet it and you can hopefully, you know, get it back. But that again is one of those techniques that you've just got to pop to one side and be patient. And that's what I'm going to do now. And I'm going to clean up. I'm going to have a drink of coffee and I'm going to wait for the thumbs up from you. Remember, you have to let me, camera woman, know that you've done that bit. I'm not cool to move on. This is where I should have some of that little interval music. You know, the elevator music.
Stephanie asking, would these backgrounds work with distress stains?
Distress stains, yes. Any liquid, you know, paint, watercolour, as long as it's watercolour and you can get enough of it on in a large area, you know, without taking forever to do, because the longer it takes, the more it's going to sink into the surface of the card and it won't be moving over the surface and react with the cling film and the salt. It'll have absorbed into the surface of the card. You know, like pens, you know, if you've got to brush, even the aqua markers, you've got to brush them on. So they're going to start, there's time concern there, there's a time problem. So anything you can pop on and splodge on quite quickly, get it moving on the surface, and then put the salt on or the cling film is all good. But that techniques that I keep coming back to, there's things that, crafty things that come and go in your life. I'm sure they do, because they do with mine. Things that I want to play with, things that I get excited about and I think, right, gotta get my hands on those, gotta want to do those. But there's core things that don't change. And there's techniques that don't change. Things that you keep coming back to, your foundation, your bread and butter stuff. And watercolour colouring products are my foundation, bread and butter stuff. And obviously the sparkle pens and aqua tint pens from Crafter's Companion are the ones that I go to. They're the ones that are in my on my desk and the ones I can go to. There's other ones that you might have that of the same or your similar style, and you can do these techniques with those too. But with these products, you've got loads and loads of versatility, loads of things that you can do with them, as well as just colouring with them. Of course, they've got the brush in it, you can just colour in with them. It's like a phone, you forget that, you can just, of course, make calls. So, but you can do so much more. And the background techniques that I keep coming back to are the ones that have a success rate of 9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10. The ones that you have to, you know, get maybe 1 in 10 that works, or wait until the planets align, that's not the way forward, because you just get frustrated and it's like, oh, just wasted card and time, and you know, you want them to work. These work every time, so they're the core things that we keep coming back to. When you've got the colour down on the background, then you can start playing with lifting colour out and kind of sculpting the background once it's dry with water, which is what we'll be doing when we do the card that we're going to work through. How are you doing?
Well, you're going a little bit fast for some people.
Well, I'm slowing down now.
You're going to slow down, yeah?
Slowing down.
Keep sipping, keep sipping. Irene, are you keeping up with us, or do we need to recap on that last one? I think you started a little bit ahead of people.
Right. Okay, Irene. It was this, what we did, exactly what you just did with the cling film background, just different colours. You can do the same colours if you want, Irene. Doesn't matter. This starts out exactly the same, only instead of putting cling film on, you shake a bit of salt on. That's it. It's easy peasy. These are great ones because the start of them is exactly the same. All you do is put cling film on one, put salt on the other, then pop them to one side.
Carolyn and Dawn are asking, which colours did you use for that second salt technique?
I will tell you. I used, coming at you, Pink Breeze. I used Chilled Ocean, and I used Winter Night. Winter Night is an intense, really, really dark blue. All these colours, like I say, are the most concentrated version of all the colours I could get. So that you've got, there's no watering down with these, because with traditional watercolour, you don't start off with a pastel. You start off with the intense colour. To get pastels, you just add water. So I'm figuring, start off with the intense ones, and if you want pastel, just keep adding water. Makes sense, doesn't it? And if you want more sparkle, if you run out of bling, definitely with any sparkle sets, add to it with your overlay, your crystal overlay. Okay, that's the one you want to add to. What are you laughing for? What?
Because I haven't moved the camera up. Sorry, people. There she is, drinking coffee.
Oh, you don't know I'm drinking coffee, just in your hands, don't you? You just hear me talking. Oh, yeah, drinking coffee. You'll see me eating a cake.
And in close-up.
Oh, no.
Okay, Here we go. Back a bit.
Shouldn't have had coffee, should I? Like I say, chamomile tea for the next one. Nice and calming.
Now, somebody's just asked, forgive me because I can't, I've lost your thread now. But she's asked, could you just reiterate very quickly what you did with the cling film at the beginning, because she's only just joined us.
At the very beginning, absolutely. What are we doing another one? Well, let's do it. Will that work? Yeah?
Yeah, I think that'll work for people. Give people a chance to catch up.
Okay, let's do another one. All right. So, cling film. Get a bit of cling film. You want it bigger than your area that you're going to use, because you want to scrunch it up and have it so that there's it's still going to cover the area, but it's going to have crinkles and stuff in it. First thing.
Give us the colour names again as well.
So for the first one, I used Golden Sun, I used Lava Red, and I used Spiced Cherry. So here's what we did, and this is exactly the same as if we're going to put salt on it. So give them a shake. Anything that's got a solid in it, if it's a product that has either mica in it or glitter, ultra fine, super sparkly glitter, because they're sparkle pens, give them a shake. You don't shake them, you'll just get the paint, which is still gorgeous, but you'll think the fairies have pinched your glitter. So give them a shake. Right, so always, whenever you're working with watercolours, I would start with a lighter colour. So this Golden Sun colour, I'm splodging over in a random big chunks. You're not going impressionist paint in here, dot, little bits, because then you'll end up with just an overall colour. We want chunks of yellow, we want chunks of orange, and then in between we want some of the red. But the red will always, the darker colour will always trump your lightest colour. Oh, you know what I should do when I've done this? We'll do a bit of colour theory while you're catching up. So some of you are finished. This is what we do in workshops, because everybody works at different paces. So if you're finished, you know, we usually say, slow down. You know, if you're a Speedy Gonzales type, just chill, relax, ponder if you will. If you are a little bit of a slow coach, pick it up a bit. But what we normally do is try and meet in the middle somewhere. But if there's time at the end of workshops, if we think, well, we've got all that done, because we always monitor, it's your time. It's what me, or if it's me and Donna, we work to your pace. So there's no point in us motoring on if you're not ready to motor on. So I've splodged all that in there. But like I say, if we do get finished, you think, oh, there's not enough time for another project, but I want to see something, we can show you something like I was going to show you with this colour mixing. So see if it's not wet enough and you think, well, I'm splodging it, it's getting a bit muddy, spritz it with your spritz bottle. Always have a spritz bottle, and then take your cling film, scrunch it up. Oh, seriously, I'm a whiz in the kitchen, can you tell? It's painful.
When you're laying your colour down on the card initially, do you have to be careful of the tips of each of the pens that you don't contaminate?
If you do, it doesn't matter, because what you can do is just scribble them off. So if the yellow gets red on it, just a little scribble on a piece of card. You make a background out of it or scribble it on your mat. It'll come through clean in like 2 or 3 little scribbles worth. So it's not a forever thing. Right, so now that's got cling film on it. I've got some stuff moving around in there. I've got some colour moving across the surface. And that there, I will put to one side. And that will dry. So you want to leave it for at least an hour if it's cling film or salt, because there's some things that you can speed up with your heat gun, and there's some that you can't. We'll be using the heat gun as we move along to move things quicker when we move on to doing a card. So, how we're doing for time? Do you want me to show you that little mixing thing now, or are you good?
People keep asking, will you please show and describe how to do the skin tone whilst other people catch up?
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to do it. This is the best way. Thanks for the interaction. Much better, because you know, other than that, it's just like I'm talking to nobody, which is not the first time. So, piece of card.
Just a quickie from Karen. What do I do after the salt?
After the salt, that's it. Just chill or watch what I'm doing. So you've done cling film and you've done salt. You've sprinkled it on. You pop it to one side. That's it. Your work is done for now.
Where did you get your glass mat?
This one's an X-cut one. This is a one that Tonic do great ones. I usually work on a bigger one, but this is a portable one. You know, the big, huge, is it E2 size or whatever? The big, huge, or E3 size mat. It's not E3. It's bigger. I think I should know that. Sunday night, I'm in chill mode. Right, okay, so I'm taking the primary colours. Now, the thing is, you know, you say things, and you say things on TV, and you just think, okay, we'll talk about primary colours. Things fall out your mouth with me a lot of the time. And you don't stop to think that we say them all the time, but you assume people know. And there's so many people who don't know what the primary colours are. I just found this out in the workshop. And so these are the primary colours. There's 3 colours. The reason I call primary colours is you can't mix them. You can't make yellow by mixing 2 colours. You can't make red by mixing another 2 colours, and you can't make blue by mixing any other colours. So these have to exist in any set you get. Make sure you've got primary colours represented. And these are kind of mid. Thing is, you get different yellows. You know, you get ochre yellow, you get like a lemony yellow, you get different reds, you get scarlet, you get cherry reds, just to keep it simple, different blues. So when you mix them together, you're going to get different variations of greens and oranges, but you need at least one of each basic primary colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this yellow and I'm going to squeeze it so I've got a puddle of it, because I'll be using a bit more yellow than anything. Can you all see that on the screen okay? That good, camera woman?
Good for me.
Okay, great.
Everybody see okay?
Right, got the red, it's all good. And we've got the blue. Now what I would say when you're doing this, you know, if you've got a brown craft mat, I would get a tile, you know, like a white tile. If you haven't got a tile, a bit of card with a bit of acetate on the top, because you really need to see the colour, and whereas a brown mat you won't see it. And plus the colour tends to bead up more on a brown mat. People say, it's not working, my pen's not working. It's just that there's the brown non-stick mats tend to bead up the paint, and it's harder to get them out to stick onto the surface than with a glass mat. So let me show you. So the basic colour, you've got your yellow, your orange, your red and your blue. This is something I would do definitely with, just have a play with this. So if you remember from school, now I'm going to be telling you stuff that you think, oh yeah, I knew that, Douglas. But some of you don't remember. We're starting from scratch here. Yellow, and I'm going to take a bit of red and pop it in the yellow. Just a little bit. Always start when you're mixing colours with your lightest colour first. If you try to lighten a dark colour, you'll have gallons of this stuff and you'll still not manage. That then now has already started from the original yellow. I think I should have shown you that. There's the yellow. To become orangey. Can you say that? If you want it more orangey, you can add a bit more red. But do it that way around. Do it that way. So it's got more of an orange there. Now if you start with a different type, like a red or a different yellow, you'll get different orange. But that's there is orange. That's easy. We're cool with that. If you want to make green, I'm going to take a little bit of the yellow again. We're going to start with the yellow base again. And I'm going to take a tiny touch of this blue, because this blue is mighty powerful. And I'm going to pop it into my yellow. And now, pretty green. That is pretty cool. You've got these gorgeous, they look very designer colours, very citrusy. And you've just used 3 primary colours. And we're not finished with the basic mixing yet. So next one, we're going to take some red and we're going to take a touch of the blue and mix them together, and then we're going to start to get purpley colour. So that's a reddier version. If we want a bluer version, you just add more blue. That is just by mixing 2 of the colours together, and you've got that gorgeous palette there. And of course, you know, you mix more blue, you get a bluier green. I'll show you what I mean. See? All those things is just that. Have a bit of play with that, and that is so empowering. It's a really good exercise to do. So skin tone, I normally start with, I'm mixing a skin tone with an orangey base, right? So that would be my yellow with a bit of the red in it. And then I'm going to take a tiny weeny touch of the blue and pop it in there. Now you've got to be careful, because you can end up with greeny colour. If it starts to go like that, pop a little bit more of the red in and start to have a play and see what you've got. Now it still looks a little bit cool, so I'm going to pop a bit more red in there. See how it's warming up a little bit? Touch more red, just the tiniest little bit. When you're doing skin tones, you're gonna probably, that's better. It looks strong, but watch. When you water it down, now if this was me, you'd just keep adding water, water, water. In fact, the card would probably be closer. But see, that's a healthy, that looks a bit kind of too yellowy, not healthy. This is a healthier colour here. If you wanted it somewhere between, you can just go back with the tiniest touch of the blue and get something in between. Can you see? Tiniest, that tiny amount. Always with the cooling colour, which is the blue, to the orange in the smallest amount. Start the bulk with the yellow and the red, then a tiny touch of that blue, and then you've got these fabulous, there you go, easy peasy, and that's all we've used. Seriously, colour chart, then have a bit of play. Make yourself, be disciplined with yourself. You've got all these bonny colours, but don't use them. Leave them for when you want to just do bonny backgrounds. If you know you can mix those, and especially those skin tones with those three. No, you're going to fear nothing. Colour mixing. Right, how we're doing with getting on with the background?
A couple of people still catching up, but I think we're doing good.
Right, because what we'll have to do if people are still catching up, because people might come in different times, it's like a workshop, like I said, we'll have to move on so that majority, we'll go with the majority, are going to be moving on at the piece that we need to get through, because we literally will be here. It'll be an all-nighter.
And remember that you can watch back as well.
Yeah, that's the thing, we'll be saving it, so, you know, definitely. Right, so the card we're going to be making. This is the card. This is my version of the card, Debbie's fabulous card. So I've made this so that, because the thing is my team are amazing. You know, it makes a difference. You've got the right product. Obviously, great stamps that Donna's drawn, and I deliberately used someone else's stamps rather than mine, because I think it's better to talk. I didn't have the vision in my head. I didn't draw them knowing that this is going to be in the foreground, that's going to be in the distance, that's going to be... I didn't know that. I've just, like you, got the stamps, as you bought the stamps and think, okay, what's going on with them? So that would be my first tip to you. Read the stamps. What is going on with these stamps? Where do I have shading for a start? Is it going to be easy to find out where the light's coming from with these stamps? All these things are going to make your job easier if the artist put it in. I know Donna puts shading in, I put shading in. So it makes things, you don't have to work at contouring it, making them look realistic. I'll show you what I mean. Storing your stamps. When you get them, they're going to come in a pack, all rubber, like that. Cutting your stamps out, don't need to have a chance to do this, but I'm going to show you. I use a good pair of scissors, and because I know they're going to go on rocker blocks, I don't have to stick them onto a foam cushion first, which is where it gets really tricky to cut them out, which is why, when sometimes people say, oh, I wish they came pre-mounted on foam and things. Well, here's the thing. If they came pre-mounted on foam, you wouldn't be getting them for the cost we can give you them. Because when they come pre-mounted on foam, then they have to be, there's not a machine can do that. They have to be hand cut by a person doing this on a fine saw. So when you do that, like this, like that, okay, it's a balance between going fast to get them done, obviously, because, you can't take all day to cut one out, but being careful not to cut into the rubber. So the compromise normally is to not cut as closely as I'm cutting right now, using just a pair of good scissors and moving the thing around, like you would if you're cutting card, and take your time. It's longer than I'm doing here, because you only have to do this once. I haven't got sticky stuff all over my scissors, because that's not, it doesn't feature because it's not on there, where it is on the foam cushion. And I can coin around the corners, I can manoeuvre around corners, which means I can get really much closer to my cut out stamp than you ever would if you bought one pre-cut like that on a foam cushion. The benefit for your stampers is that even though they're rubber, they're vulcanized rubber, I roll over them with my chair and everything, I don't even know that they're there, and they're fine. They're tough. So you've got the benefit of them being rubber, and light's not going to affect them or anything, but you've also can match them, you can overstamp, you can use the silhouette. That's a pretty sharp silhouette there. So if I'd stamped that and gone all watercolour-y effect and I want to put the detail back, I can do that because I'm going to put them on my rocker blocks and I'm going to use my stick and spray. And that's the main reason I like rocker blocks. Not because, like, Sarah and Leanne when I used to watch them say, you can get ink all over the shop. Yes, you can, and yes, I do. But the main reason I wanted rocker blocks is because I can then match those little toadstools by just looking at the silhouette. If I get it eclipsed with the shape, I know I've got the detail back in. So you're going to cut your stamps all out, and then the way I do it, the way I want to do it, and I intend to do it, but I don't always do it. If you've got the packaging, laminate the packaging, and then what you do is you spray your the backs of your stamps with your stick and spray, which is a repositionable adhesive, not stick and stay. There's another one. This is the old can, but there's one called stick and stay. That's a permanent adhesive. Stick and spray is the one that you want for the backs of your stamps, and then you can pop them on your laminated piece of packaging. It makes it really sturdy. They're all there together. I can see what I should have. Everything's together. And then, though, I would still pop them in a little zippy bag. Even if it's a big one, they're all together, the collection. The next thing I've done, though, you know when I said we were going retro, we're doing fun and fancies, we're going to do fuzzy felt style crafting now. And by that, we're going to move on to composition. Yes, Maria?
Lots of people are discussing, can you use baby wipes on your stamps?
Yeah, you can, but I don't. And I'll tell you why. If baby wipes have got like a, you know, like a moisturising part to them, because they have to keep them, you know, keep them all right. Bless them. So, and that can stay on your stamps. And rubber is kind of water resistant anyway. So if you clean them with a baby wipe, this stuff can be, residue can be left on your stamps. And when you want to use a water-based ink, like your distress inks or your pens, if you want to stamp with your sparkle pens or your aqua pens, it may not stick to the rubber as well. So I tend not to. I use, if you've got grey rubber, I use stick away. You know, the stuff that takes the sticky away. And when you clean your rocker blocks with, I clean all my rubber with stick away. And that gets them squeaky clean, and they accept the water-based product really well. Wouldn't use it on clear stamps, but definitely on rubber stamps. Right, composition and fuzzy felt. If you don't know what fuzzy felt is, I don't know if you know across the pond, but my mother was very keen on fuzzy felt. I had piles of it, piles of every one that came out, and there were a box like this, about that wide, and in it you had you know, the hook and loop Velcro-y stuff. You had the hooky bit, which was a board, coloured normally, and then you had loads of cut-out shapes in different coloured felts. It might be a gardening theme, might be a little shopping theme, might be a little doll theme. And you took them and you stuck them together and you made pictures, composed pictures. So as a young'un, I got used to composition. But we can go back and we can relive it, because here's a way to play that again. I was thinking of this and I've been going to talk about it for a bit. And I did it. I think it's a good idea and I think it works out great. When you get your stamps, when you get a whole collection, say you bought the 6 Donna's Fairy stamps, either the first collection or the second collection, say you bought some of my stamps that have had the whole foreground, middle ground, distant kind of images to create a whole scene. You look at it and you go, whoa, where are they all going? What goes where? Stamp onto acetate, heat resistant acetate with Stayz-on. Stayz-on. Now, not VersaFine or archival. The reason being, they take ages to dry. They're oil-based. They're water resistant, but they're oil-based. And even heating them with a heat gun, they take ages to dry. You still need to fix them with your heat gun, even with Stayz-on, so you can start cutting them out. So I've stamped all of the collection, and I've cut out all of the collection. And I've cut them out just roughly. You can see there's not a mega, like they're not right to the edge. You don't have to, it's acetate. So that I can look at what I've got. Now, big thing you need to do. Right on the front side, when you've stamped it, F for front. I was going to go T for top. But the reason being, if you put F for front, I know if I turn it around, that's a back to front F. When I did a T, I went, oh, can you see where I'm coming from? It didn't change. Little trial and error there. So we'll put an F for front. Now, if you look at all these images, let's just look at the unicorns. You've got a big, huge unicorn. You've got a medium-sized unicorn. You've got a really little baby unicorn, right? They're all supposed to be the same unicorn, but they're on different planes, different axes throughout the picture. We're going to have to employ a bit of perspective here. So this is where, if anybody watched Father Ted, I keep rethinking of Dougal, and this one's close and that one's far away with the cows. If you've seen it, you'll know. Right, so that one's back to front, that needs to go there, see? And that one needs to go there. So you've got 3 unicorns. So here's the thing. Not only have we got, the perspective is pretty obvious, this unicorn is going to have to be at the front of the picture, is it not? So this is going to be at the front. It's also needs to be somewhere near the base, because it doesn't go on forever. You haven't got a whole unicorn. So putting it, unless you want to fade it out, and that's going to be in feature, in the middle, it's just a head. It's a bit disturbing. If you put it towards the left edge, this is when I talked about composition, it looks like it's looking into the picture. And looking in, this whole composition here is better than looking out, because what that's doing is taking your eye out of the picture, looking somewhere back there. I want people to look in here. So we'll have him bottom left looking into the picture. If we wanted the next size unicorn, he would have to be somewhere about here to suggest that it's further up the card and it's further away. That makes sense? I know you haven't done this, but so this is giving you a bit more catch-up time, but it's really important. It's a great thing to do. I honestly would do this. And then if we're going to have this little guy and he's smaller than that, he would have to be somewhere further up again. That's how you work out on your card where to put things. Bigger, medium, smaller. I usually think of like 3 positions in the card, so it looks like you're looking into it. If you want to do something, you know, make a practical little composition with that, you might want to even, I think it's great because you're not stamping and trying and wasting card and trying the composition. You're just putting the bits there. It's, again, I'm back as a kid. I'm doing fuzzy felt. This one might be there, and you can just have a bit play around with that. See how it works? Now here's another thing with the other set. You might bring in another set of stamps, which is this lot here. And in here we've got some fabulous images. This is another fairy set, and it includes branches and dandelions and a fairy sitting on a toadstool, which we're not going to use her. She's brilliant, but we're not going to use her. So we've got branches, we've got dandelion things. So we'll take that out of there. So if we're going to create a composition with this, all of a sudden we've got branches in the mix. So the unicorn's not the furthest thing to the front of the card anymore. The branches are going to have to be, because if they're at the back, they're way behind, it's not going to work as much. So we want to make the branches look like maybe he's looking through the branches. We can have these maybe like this. What I would say is multi-stamp them on your acetate, and then you can see how they work, because it might be a branch that's going to come across like that. You see? Across the card. If you can be bothered, just keep stamping them. When you've got a composition you like, take a picture of it. Save it. Don't worry about colour and background. I can come back to that. Just take pictures of it. Is this okay for you? Is this helping? Maria, we're getting any thumbs up?
Yeah, lots of thumbs up, yeah.
Brilliant. So what I would say is do that and thumbs up, and it's not thumbs up. Just have a little bit of play with that. So we might have a unicorn there. Now we might, to disguise that little bit of, you know, where it stops, that could maybe stamp there if we want to lift him further up. And you might want to pop something, you know, maybe else along the bottom. We might want to bring in the little dandelion head. So again, these would have to be at the foreground, would they not? Because if they were on the same level, that's a huge dandelion. That's a wee little horse. It's all on the same level, same axis. So what we could do here is have these little things coming across here. Now, the reason I would say this is a good idea is a lot of you say, how do you know about composition? There's things you can follow. There's like the rule of thirds. You've seen of grids where they split it into 3 that way and 3 that way, and you're supposed to place things where the lines cross and all that. But you know what? That's really restrictive, and most people rules are there to be broken. But triangles work great. I use triangles a lot, and I use square cards a lot because they're easier to balance in my book. So, for example, if I wanted this unicorn there, I could imagine that's going to be chopped off. I might have more dandelions. I might have more coming up here. I haven't cut them all on the acetate. If you want to do that, you can do that and plan them all out. I might want the little believe in the magic coming along here so that it extends that out to there. And I might want, where have I got my little dandelion things coming up to extend up there. So all of this could move across so that we've created a kind of a composition in a triangular kind of fashion there. Can you see how that's working? Don't be scared of negative space, because it's like light and shade. You know, your eyes looking there, you've composed a grouping rather than, for example, that here, that there, and a few up there. It's wrong. Don't look right. You do this all the time when you're putting furniture in the room. This is you put the stuff in, you know where it's going to look great. Oops, just kicked the thing there. Sorry, my camera woman looked shocked and horrified with my lovely little dainty feet and my fluffy slippers. You do it all the time, so by cutting them out and putting them on the acetate, you can do that and have a bit of play before you commit to stamping, because that's where it can get a little bit intimidating. You get your ink out and you start stamping, woo, have a little bit of a planning session. Say like, okay, I might want to do that, and then they might kind of little come, you know, around there. We might have this here. We could have some little branches there still. You know, you can have a whole. You can just keep playing until you find what looks right, and when you like what you've got, take a picture, capture it, and go, right, yeah, that's gonna work. I like that, and then start working on your background. Have a few of them. Keep playing. That's where the fuzzy felt bit comes in. Right, so that, yeah, hopefully, has that helped with composition?
Yeah, people are loving that.
Right.
I'm going to go out and buy shares in acetate now.
Yeah, it was an acetate. And you know what I've done is, if you get the package, I know some of you don't get all the individual packaging depending on how you bought them, but little zippy bags, Ziploc bags, put your package, I'll have to sort this out later. For the time, I'm not going to split them into individual groups, but keep them with your little, with your set, say, in your zippy bag. So keep them all together with your stamp set, and then you can just use them again for your planning sessions. So I'm going to pop them back there. How we're doing? Are we ready to move on?
I think so. Can you give us a flurry of thumbs up if you're ready to move on?
Because we haven't even started the card yet. I bet you thought I could talk on TV. You've got no idea till you endure a workshop. And I say endure. And some of you come back.
Lots and lots of thumbs up.
Brilliant. Right, we're going to start with the card. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do two of my favourite techniques. Wash with your sparkle pens and glycerin with the sparkle pens. I'm going to take the colours out I need. You can do this together. Seek and locate Golden Sun. Have you got it? I hope you have. Seek, locate. That's where you're hot and spicy. Pink Breeze. Thumbs up?
Couple of thumbs up.
Okay.
Or similar colours.
Similar colours, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm using a bright pink, I'm using a vibrant yellow. And then I'm going to use a nice strong blue. And I'm going to use iced denim, which is a kind of a strong royal blue. And then I'm going to use, I might use Cool Damson, which is a pretty intense purple. So if you're looking at similar colours, bright yellow, I've used, that was from the only one from that set actually. Then I went to the Cool set and I've used Pink Breeze, I've used Ice Denim and Cool Damson. Those three plus the yellow. Okay? Right, so similar colours. We've got them, we're good to go.
Somebody asked a little bit earlier, can you use aqua pens for this?
Yes. Oh, aqua pens. You can for the glycerin technique. Yeah, you can. It's trickier to use because with aqua pens, when you're scribbling for the first bit, when you use it with glycerin, absolutely. The next bit where we're going to wash it at the bottom of the card, we're going to use a wash at the bottom. See how intense this colour is here? That's where you might find it a little bit trickier with your aqua pens. But you could still use the glycerin at the bottom, and you can use your ink to darken it. We'll come back to that. I'll talk you through as we go. So just keep asking questions as we go. That's what you know it's all about. So we've got the card. So watercolour card or Sheena card, all good. I am going to get my applicator. I want an applicator for each colour. So I had clean applicators. I might have just mixed them up a little bit. Let's say that one's yellow. Got my yellow applicator. I've got my pink applicator. I've got my, if you haven't got all the separate applicators, cut and dry foam will work, or you can keep swapping the sponges around. I've got my blue, that will be blue and purple, I'll say, because those two are quite similar. We're good with that? And this is where we absolutely need the glycerin. So, give them a shake. Get the sparkle, to get the glitter going. The longer you shake them, the more you're going to get the glitter coming through, but that'll do for now. And I'm going to squeeze some out onto my mat, about that much. Right, that's more, should be more than enough of that. So I start, when I'm doing this, I'm always methodical. Again, in the rest of my life, no, not so much. But when I'm crafting, I usually tend to like to go light to dark in the order I'm going to work with. Because I know I'm going to start there and work along. So I'm going to do yellow, and I'm going with pink. Then I'm going with the lighter blue. Isn't that gorgeous? Intense colours. See where there's no, I haven't diluted these at all. These are like the concentrated version of all the colours I could get. And then that lovely purple colour. Right. So, if you need to give them a little bit of a squeeze, just give them a little bit of squeeze, but take off the excess, because next time you go to use them, you'll find it may have leaked out of being the lid, but that's not the pen's fault, it's your fault, because you've been using them, you know, a little bit different way to apply them. And then you want a dot of glycerine for each one, and dot about that much. If you find when you're doing this that it's starting to look shiny and you've lost some of the intensity of the colour, it's likely that you've got too much glycerine on there. If it's dragging, you need a bit more glycerine. Now you see I haven't put all that on there because I put quite a bit out. Starting with the yellow, and I'm going to pick it up. What the glycerine does is it thickens the ink, and it also makes it much slower drying so that it'll slide across the surface of the card. And I'm going to start in the middle top. I'm going round in a circle like I'm cleaning the floor or whatever. Wax on, wax off, and creating a big moon like that. Big disc. That's where the brightest part of my card's going to be.
Hello, Donna Radcliffe.
Wow, Donna, watch, danger, danger. Yeah, dodgy stamps here, Donna. Yeah. I tell you what, I reckon Donna has definitely been away with the fairies to be able to draw this lot. So I believe them. You know, I believe that this place exists, and I truly believe Donna's been there. I think she's there most of the time, to be honest. Right, so we've got that there. So we've got that disc now. Now what I'm doing is I'm blotting that because I don't want to darken that yellow middle too much. I'm leaving that. If I mess around with it too much. So circles, see? But I'm blending the edge in one against the other. And I'm not worrying because the glycerine it's drying quite slowly. It's not one of those things where I'm like, oh no, I've got to hurry up. Whereas if it was a wet paint, I'd have to be hurrying up a little bit more because it'll be soaking into the surface. The glycerine has made it so that I'm using less product and it's sitting on the surface of the card. It's not soaking right into the fibres, which is why I'm able to blend it and move it across like this. So you see where it's starting to drag a little bit there? I might pick up a little bit of glycerine from that, the purple, and just borrow it a little bit. So now I've got that around there. Now, obviously, I've got a band there. I'm going always with the lighter colour and just soften that edge a little bit so that it's more of a blend. So put a bit pink in that boundary there so that we've got a little bit of a softened border. And you'll feel it'll be really kind of slippy, kind of, but not, it shouldn't be shiny. If it's shiny, you just have to dry it a little bit because it'll stop taking any more onto the surface. It's fine, just dry it, you can layer it up later. Just if it's at the point where you just think, no, it's not taking any more colour, it's just because you've OD'd on glycerin a little bit, and just so you can dry it with a heat gun and then pop some more on there. That's there is all I'm going to worry about. I'm not going to do any more than that because the bottom we're going to do in a different fashion. So that's what first mission. So if you look at that, and I'll give you a minute or two to do that. Wait for a thumbs up.
Marion's asking if she does use her aqua pens, can she use the clear sparkle overlay at the end?
Yes, absolutely. That's what we're going to be doing anyway. We're going to use that little clear overlay for a little bit of bling. I don't know if I put that on the list, but you can use twinkles or anything, anything glittery little bits on top of that. You haven't got your clear overlay, but the clear overlay is fabulous for that. And yes, absolutely. Wise shoppers, if you only buy one sparkle pen to start with, absolutely make it the clear overlay because that will make any colour a sparkly pen.
Great. Hi to Travis. Travis says you're looking pretty tonight.
Well, thank you, Travis. Do what you can. So, here's the thing. How are you doing with that? Going well?
Well, I'm waiting for a flurry of thumbs up, so why don't you tell them about Sheena's inkettes in the meantime?
All right, good idea there. Good on. So, right, those of you, this little sign, have you got it on the screen? There, look, that little sign there. It wasn't just there because it just kind of like by accident there. There's a group on Facebook called Sheena's Inkettes. It exists. So if you Google it, if you search it in Facebook, ask to join. It's a closed group. Just thought we didn't get any dodgies joining and trying to sell you stuff or any weird types. Well, a lot of weird types, but they're nice weird types like us. So if you join that, that's where my team or monitor that group, and it's all positive. It's all about the crafty love. So it's all it's encouraging. It's positive. We don't have any negativity. We don't say that things don't happen, but we say this isn't the place to voice them, and we would maybe suggest that you try a different place to do that. So it's all good stuff, and we're really proud that we've kept it that, even though we've got 6,000 people on there now, something like that. We've got a lot of people on there, considering that you've asked to join. So yeah, if you join that, so when you see TV shows or if you see any of the cards online and you think, well, I want to do that, that's the place to go, because my amazing team, my Inkoids, will tell you they love sharing. That's what they love to do. They're all about the education, as am I. So that's that.
And Inkoids are with us online now.
Whoop, whoop, woo, woo.
And we've got lots of thumbs up.
Thank you. Right then, so next bit, shall we move on? Shall we do that? You ready?
Yeah, we can move on. Hi, Joan.
Okay.
She's drinking coffee with you.
Fabulous. I haven't even had a cake yet, Joan. This is dedication, this. I'm hoping you really need some time shortly. Quite a bit of time. Mine's are fondant fancies. They've shrunk like everything else. You'd like to save the 2 bites. So I've got the 2 colours here. I've got your ice denim and I've got the cool damson. Now this is a different application. Don't worry that this looks a bit like whoop, it's psychedelic, trippy, and not finished that great yet. Doesn't matter. And if you get it all messy at the bottom like I have, don't worry. It one little bit. It's all good. No harm, no foul. Yeah.
What kind of paper are you using?
I'm using the watercolour card, just got a little bit different, bit of texture. Well, Sheena card, watercolour card, both great, but Sheena card's completely smooth, watercolour card's got a little bit of a tooth to it, a little bit of texture.
And can you show your hands to Maz, because she said she's covered in ink.
Tell you what, Maz, here's a thing. We bought some soap, some lavender soap, and if you're in Winchester, look for lavender soap. And I have used, I can use liquid soap all day when I'm doing TV. All day, it doesn't do anything. Baby wipes, look, not doing a thing. This lavender soap, which is very nice, and I was covered earlier because I was prepping something I dropped something, and it was covered. And I just washed them with this soap, and it came off straight away. But definitely, a solid soap bar works 10 times better than liquid soap for getting any of this off. If you want to give it a little bit of help, if it's not taking it all off, a little bit of baking soda. I've even been known to use, Arm & Hammer toothpaste with a baking soda in it. When I've been travelling, that works great, with a bit of regular soap, obviously, and just that little bit of abrasive takes it off. But later, I might take a picture when we finish this and show you with this soap. I need to know, go back just to get more and buy in bulk. So, moving on. Shall we move on?
Yep.
Right, 2 colours now. We've got the large flat brush, the 1-inch flat brush, and I'm going to start with a lighter colour, which is the ice denim. And this time, we're going to go directly onto the card. So check this out. Ice denim, like that. Straight onto the card. I'm squeezing it a little bit, all right? And then I'm going to use this gorgeous cool damson, which is the purpley one, towards the bottom. Intense colour. I haven't coloured the whole thing in it because that would be just wasting your pens. You don't need to. These are strong, undiluted colours, so you can see how far that's gone. And I'm just going to create a little interesting, little kind of like a land mass here, so that this is going to provide the base for my images to sit on. So there you go. That's what you need to do. Don't go over and keep working and working and working it. That's why we use a flat brush with some water on it, and just back and forward, long sweeping strokes. I'm not trying to get any variation in the colour. We can do that really easily in a minute when we come to add some water to full bleach it. That's your mission. Yes.
What brushes are we using?
I'm using the Royal & Langnickel. It's a synthetic brush, really inexpensive brush. About £2 a brush or something like that at Crafts Companion shops, and on TV they're about £12 a set of 5 now. They're a set I put together over 8 years ago, of really the essential size, but I keep cleaning it and putting blue on it from your hands. See? Yep. Another question?
Brenda's telling me that you just wipe your hands on your knees, and she's concerned, have you got a towel, or are you going to tell me wipe that on your jeans?
No, from the waist down I look like a smurf. I'm singing the theme tune in my head now. Oh, bless them. I do. I've got me leggings, me lounging leggings on Like my Max Wall style. Yeah, it's great, lovely.
Please don't stand up.
No, I'm not going to stand up because then you've got me fluffy slippers underneath that. I will just leave that image with you. So I'm going to wipe this up now and wait for you to get to that point. And tell you what I'm going to do, and you can do too, dry it with your heat gun. So you need to dry that. So have it tidy up, dry it with your heat gun, which is exactly what I'm going to do as well when I find my baby wipes and wipe some of this colour off. So I'm not completely blue. La, 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 la. Are you all still there and enjoying it? Are you holding up? Have we lost anybody? Have you lost the will?
No, still lots of people.
Fabulous.
People enjoying themselves.
Yay! Remember cake. Cake helps. I'm going to have one now, I think, actually. The camera's not on me, are they? So I can pretend to bite them off. Oh, it'll take me ages to get through one of those 1-inch square fondant fancies with my appetizer for sparrow.
Margaret says you've got her till the very end.
Hey, go on, Margaret. Whoa, you've got some endurance. You're only almost ready for a workshop, Margaret, unless you've actually done it and you've got the immunities. But that's what happens.
Maria says that her card looks like a 5th grader's.
Well, you know what, Maria? It's not finished yet. Have faith, Maria. Can we fix it? Yes, we can. I'm hoping. I hope you're going to share them afterwards. I want to see what you've been doing. Thing is, as well, here's the thing. You can talk. I hope you can hear me still with the heat gun going. You can talk the theory till the cows come home. You can talk the blue in the face or blue of the leg with your pens. But you've got to just get in there and try it. And if the first time it's not perfect, well, the next time it'll be better. The next time it'll be better again. The more you do it, the better you get. And I think that's why we craft. If you're just like, success, boom, first time, there's no challenge. I want something that I can do successfully, quickly, like your backgrounds, your salt, your cling film. But then if the wash maybe takes you 1 or 2 times, I've achieved something. I've built up and I've learned something. So that's all good in my book. So I just dried it front and back, and you'll see the bottom of it should have a nice glitter on there as well. I don't know if you can see that in the light, but that's what we've got so far. It's not subtle. Not as subtle as I am. I'm going to have a cake. I'm going to have a pink.
Janice has just had strawberries dipped in chocolate.
Oh, I love strawberries dipped in chocolate. Ah, I see now you've put me off my cake. But I will still have it.
Millionaire shortbread.
Oh, nice.
Gluten-free chocolate cake. Oh,
lovely. Nice. All of them. Respect. Definitely. Yeah, you'll need the sugar to keep you going. That's what I'm reckoning.
Dana in the States has said she's forgotten her heat gun because she's on holiday, but she's still with us and crafting.
Hairdryer, Dana. That'll work. We're not in Boston, we're just drying. I'll make it now, can you tell? And if you've got an old hairdryer, assign it to a crafting hairdryer. It's actually much better for certain things like this because it's more air and less heat, and just dry it without warping the card as much. So it is a good thing to have a hairdryer. Obviously not for heat in Boston, you need a heat gun then.
Terry's going to wing it because she hasn't got a heat gun. So what might happen then if people can't dry?
Hairdryer.
Well, okay, what if they haven't got a hairdryer? What can we expect to happen when we try and
talk at them a lot. If you're like me, you've got a lot of hot air and that'll dry them.
Fresh cream chocolate eclairs. Jan?
Nice. Oh, man. All right, next time we can all craft with me, physically, and we'll just have a huge crafting banquet-y sugar fest. That'll be even better. Right. If you haven't got a hairdryer, you can just wait between the layers, but you really do need to. You need to find some way of drying them. Yeah, that would be my next best thing, is if you've got a hairdryer. In a hotel room, they usually give you hairdryers, don't they? So you do need some way of drying it, because what we're going to do now, we're going to full bleach this, and it'll only work if we dry it first, because we need to set the cord, get the fibres lying flat again before we ask it to do more, or we can end up ruining the surface of the cord. So we've dried it to flatten it, it's all nice and stable again, and then we're going to start lifting some colour out. How are we doing? Are we ready to do that now?
Yeah.
Great. So,
Alison says, turn to your airing cupboard if you need to dry things.
ah, nice one, Alison. That's not Alison Carubia, is
It
it?
might be.
Oh, would have known, wouldn't I? Yeah, there you go. Nice one, Alison. Cheers. That's what you get from an Incoid. You say, oh, just kick that again with your dainty little feet. Practical advice. Whereas not so much from me. That's why I need my team.
Or waft it.
Waft? Of course.
Donna says waft it.
Of course, waft it. I like. And it's a great word, waft, isn't it? I don't think we use it enough. Waft.
So can you give me another flurry of thumbs up if we're ready to go?
Are we good?
Don't know yet. Dana's saying that she put a piece of towel on the top to take the excess moisture away.
Yeah, old towel, that's a good thing. Just, you know, like an old yeah, hand towel, little microfiber clothy type thing, all good.
Yeah, loads of thumbs up, we're ready to go.
Great, right, flat brush now. So now what we're going to do, this is going to be the moon here, and we're going to put clouds in there. So we're going to lighten this base first of all. So let's put the moon in first. Then we'll lighten the base. I'll tell you why, because when we lighten this, we're going to get loads of ink off that, loads of paint off. So this bit here, we want to create a disc in the sky and make it look like the moon is shining.
What happens if the colours aren't blending very well? Carolyn's having problems with hers blending. Does she need more glycerine? Or?
More glycerine, yes. If it's not blending, if it's not sliding, if it's not moving across the surface of the card, you need more glycerine. That's absolutely the answer. In fact, if you've had trouble blending distress inks in the past, you know, some people just can't. And I know, you know, I've taught at a lot of workshops because I have been to New Jersey to years ago to learn about range of products from the source. Used to have a certified education program, so I know how to blend distress inks, so I know how to teach how to blend distress inks, but still some people find that a tricky thing to do. If you pop a little bit of glycerin, just a tiny bit, on your applicator and then pick up the ink on your applicator, you'll find your distress inks blend easier as well. Right, okay, so we've got this. Now what we want is something big to draw around there. It's going to be my salt pot. If you've got your anything, the lid, just have a look for things that you can. Oh, let's talk about this briefly. You can see me use this tape on TV. I can't usually tell you because it's a brand. It won't sell. That's the, you know, when I'm using my machine or I'm masking card and I said I'd upgraded my masking tape. That's the stuff there. It's Scotch Blue, and I got it online. It's really good stuff. There you are. In case you're wondering. So that's another thing, etc. So the reason I picked it up and I thought of that is if it wasn't too big, you can always draw around the middle. But that's a little bit too big. I find the perfect size is my Sainsbury's fine sea salt applicator tub. So just pop it in the middle of that disc you created, and then I'm going to use water to draw around. I could use a pencil. You've seen me use pencil before on TV, but I don't want the pencil to show at all. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking my fine round brush and I'm just dragging it, not dripping it, I'm taking the excess water off there and I'm just painting around. I'm just worried about your salt might be down there, but look, see, I've got a circle I can follow that isn't obviously drawn in. Good with that?
Yep.
Alright, next thing, take a lot of water. A secret to successful full bleaching isn't being very careful and a bit scared and using hardly any water and a lot of scrubbing of the brush. It's the absolute opposite. You've got to just seize the day, go for it, carpe diem, and get lots of water on there with little agitation of the surface of the card, because again you want to put enough on there to loosen the paint, blot it. If you keep going, it'll just sink back into the card. And the good thing is if you're creating something like a moon or a sun, if it's got a little bit of variation in there, it looks like, you know, a bit more realistic than just a white disc. If you wanted this to be a bright white disc, and I'm not sure if Debbie actually did that, you could paint that in first with something like the Pebeo drawing gum and then do all of your stuff over it. But I thought, as I didn't tell you to do Pebeo drawing gum, and this is a technique that I think works great, this was what we'd do. We'd focus on full bleaching. Because we could go on, we could have a week of this if we wanted, with all the different background techniques and things that we could be doing. So we're going to have to like make it a little bit more, you know, digestible chunks for you, because you'll never come back if we're going too long. You're probably already wondering what you did. So can you see how we've got that? Whoop, now it's glowing. Look at the difference in the light there. Okay, right. Now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to create clouds. Now if you want to make spooky looking clouds, you make them a bit narrow and wispy and long. If you want to make happier clouds, make them a bit bigger and fluffier. So I'm doing big half circles, almost finishing a half circle, and then another half circle, and then coming across the moon like this with little circles like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm adding a lot of water to the dark bit, and then I'm taking my clean bit of paper and I'm blotting it. So what I've in effect done is I've created a fluffy cloud effect thing. And again, you don't have to do loads and loads of them. A big circle shape, little domes, like the igloos, yeah? And then the paint, the colour that I've lifted up, I'm going to take over the moon and create, I don't want it really dark, just want a suggestion that it's there, and that amount of paint that I've lifted up will do that for me. And then I can blot the side of it, so it's like a positive and negative. Big fluffy clouds. Now what Debbie did, I know she did these, she made fluffy clouds with drawing gum before she put the wash on. Another thing you can do, I was playing with just at the weekend with some workshops, was painting with gesso first. Painting clouds with gesso and then going over with your colour. And what that happens is the gesso doesn't absorb your colour as much, so you get like a, you know, where you've got your different clouds on just one shade of white, unless it's the Simpsons clouds. It gives it that more of a realistic look, where you can have like a lighter colour, a darker colour, and that gesso just gives it that lighter kind of distant looking cloud effect. That's really cool. So there you go. It's up to you how many are little. I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't put too many in there, and especially as we want to move on, that should probably be enough there. But you've got that nice, you liking that? Everybody happy still?
I think everybody's creating clouds.
That's okay. Go ahead and create your clouds.
Whilst you're doing that, somebody's asked, could we please have a close-up of,
the tape.
Of the tape
There
again.
you go. That's it there. Can you see it on screen? Got it? Do I need it closer?
No, down,
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 down.
onto your mat.
On your mat. That didn't help at all then, eh? That's it there.
Scotch blue.
Scotch blue, yeah. I can't remember how much it was. I don't know, I want to say about £5 or something. But you know what? You just reuse it and reuse it. It's really good. It's never torn the card away. I've used it for my die cutting. I use it for masking. I've used it with stenciling. You've seen me using it with the three layer stencils, and yeah.
Are we allowed to say where you get it from?
Amazon. I got mine from Amazon. Yeah.
Let's say Amazon then.
Let's say Amazon.
Yeah, get it from Amazon.
Yeah.
Scotch blue.
There you go. Say, listen to me. Just singing like a bird. Whoa, we mentioned Walmart. Mentioned Amazon. I mentioned your fond and fancies. Yeah. I'm dropping brand names like you wouldn't believe. Going well?
Yeah, we've got a few thumbs up, so I think people are still going. Joan's saying she's not very good at freehand shapes.
Right.
Could she use a cloud stencil?
Yep, absolutely. You know, if you use even a stencil, you can even do it with a sponge with water before with stencil, and with clouds it doesn't matter if it seeps underneath a little bit, because they're kind of ragged and fluffy anyway. So if you get a sponge, just an ordinary household sponge like this, you know, like a kitchen sponge, you know, stuff you clean the dishes with, preferably not used, and dampen it and have it just damp and blot over your stencil. Just tap over your stencil. You need to do it a few times, because if you do it obviously too wet, it'll just run all onto the stencil. But if you do it a little bit at a time, it'll start to lift the colour. So absolutely, cloud shaped stencil. I had a cloud shaped stencil a few years back, but what we do is we retie them after so long. So, but those of you who've got that's worked brilliantly. That's what I've created it for. Maybe we need more cloud shaped stencils. If you think it's a good idea, let me know.
Please show the glycerine bottle close up, or the name of it, please, and where from.
Right, it's got no name on it because it's my little bottle I put my glycerine in. Big tip, don't try and pour glycerine into a tiny little, this obviously comes off, thing like that. You will be there, take about a year, and you won't be happy. It's so thick, it'll not go in there. A syringe is what you need. You like your syringe for your glue, for your 3D glue gel? Syringe it into the bottle, a little bit at a time. But once it's in there, my last bottle lasted me about 5-6 months, and that was me doing TV and demonstrations and everything with it. And but to get the glycerine in the UK, if you go to somewhere like Boots and just ask for glycerine, not honey and glycerine for a sore throat, it's just glycerine. If you look online, again, Amazon, you can get it. And vegetable glycerine, that's what you're looking for. It's safe. It's absolutely, it's odorless. If you eat it, vegetable glycerines for cooking and things, you know it's not harmful in any way, shape or form, but it's fabulous for your crafting. Has that helped?
Walmart if you're in the United States.
Absolutely. Yeah, or Amazon again. Yeah, Amazon US. So I'm going to move on. Okay. I've got my big brush, and I'm going to take quite a bit of water this time, and I'm going to go across the top bit of this little land bit here at the back, because I want this to be paler than the foreground. And what we're doing is we're creating the look of perspective again by making the hills, the distant hills, lighter. Okay, just going across like that, lifting the colour, and then I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to blot it, and it's going to start to fall bleach. See, we've got that little light band at the top. You can see the way the top bit's lighter than the bottom bit. That's because where the glycerin is, it didn't soak into the card as much. So we've got that there. And then I'm going to create another little one maybe here just at the front, just so that we've got some interest in the card and it looks like you've got something going on there, instead of just a band of dark. So it gives a suggestion of little hills and things going on. And that there, oh, I've got a little bit of blue in me. Again, I did that earlier. So be careful when you do that, you don't drop any blue in the top bit where you don't want it. What I would do now is dry it, okay?
So is it important to dry both sides?
I would dry on both sides, Maria, so that it flattens the card out a little bit, and you can see how I've got water seeped under there, so it'll dry quicker. And when your card tends to move and bend, if you dry the back as well, it tends to, like I say, flatten it out again. So that there should be okay, we should be able to move on. So what I'm going to do now, when I've done that, is I want to make those clouds look a little bit more interesting, and I want to put a little bit more depth into them. So I'm going to take a little bit of the pink that I used in the background, and possibly even a touch of the yellow, and I'm going to take my round brush and I'm going to dilute this a lot, and then just maybe pop a little bit like this over those clouds, and then straight away with some water. Oh no, it's grabbed already, no. See, we need to lose that line there. If it grabs like that, if the card's still a little bit wet, we're going to go over with some gesso anyway, so it'll be fine, but I think we're going to get away with it there. See? Just blend it, just put a little bit of colour in there, just to give it a bit more interest and reflect some of the colour that's in the sky. So definitely do what I just did there, water it down a bit more. That's still, see how strong it is? That's because the card's still slightly damp. It's grabbing the colour more than maybe, you know, we wanted it to. But it's looking fine. We're good. As long as you water it down enough. So just little bits, not the whole thing, just little arcs of it, as if it's catching a bit of the light. And really blend it in. and then you start to get a little bit more interest there. You can pop maybe a touch of the yellow in as well on some of them.
Karen's asking, are you going to do a similar masterclass again, because she's really enjoying it?
If you want me to, if you give me some feedback, if you're all enjoying it, then absolutely, we'll do another one maybe, and we'll do a Sunday night again if that works for everybody, and maybe make it once a month. How does that sound? If that's what you want, let me know. Because it's you know, it's nice to do it, because like I say, then we can be crafting together. Some you can't get to workshops, you know, you can only be, I wanted to do a workshop a month, but we don't kind of do them that often. We've a lot of designing and things on recently, so it's about once every 2 months. But doing it this way, we can all play together. If it's helpful, then yes, definitely we can do it again. So, how are you doing?
Good.
Great. Yeah. I'm going to dry that then. So this is where waft, talk at it, use your hairdryer on it, do a bit of a style, or use a heat gun like I'm doing. Any of those things, just get the card as dry as possible. And then finally, for the faux bleaching, this is where, right, you've set as background now. So all of those compositions you're playing with your fuzzy felt type acetate that you were planning and taking pictures of, you can refer to back on your phone and go, right there, that'll work. Learn how to do some cool backgrounds, and then all you do is just change the elements in them. So I've got water here, got my brush, and I'm tapping the brush. The more water you have on it, the larger the drops you're going to get. The less water, the smaller the drops, but you're going to have to tap the brush more. So what I want to do is just add some texture at the background, little orbs, little dusty kind of fairy dust orbs. If it was winter, it would be snow, you know. So, and just leave it for a little bit. You can see it's already lifting the colour, and then we want to just blot it. And you've got that nice little texture going on. If it's not as light as you wanted it, you can always go back and add a little bit more. It's up to you how much or as little, and obviously the longer you leave it, the more colour it'll lift. Eventually it'll start going back into the card, but it's just a judgment call. If you blot it too soon the first time, you'll know next time you pop some on, leave it a little bit longer, and then blot it, and hopefully you'll have lighter dots. I think it looks better if you've got lighter and darker ones. And then finally, again, I'm going to dry it for you.
So a couple of people were a little bit disheartened because the circles went wrong and things like that.
Right, well, circles you can practice, right? It's about the technique. Like I say, when you do workshops with us, we tell you that you might work great for your first time, but if it doesn't work first time, as long as you've learned on how to correct it. If the circles were difficult, to just scrub the circles like that, maybe you could draw a fine pencil line, you know, when you first put that yellow on, and work out from that. Maybe that will help you. Or paint around with a bit of yellow around the outside of the of circle, like I use the salt. Maybe use a little watered down yellow paint a circle around that, and then fill it in with dry it, and then fill it in with your glycerine in the centre. If that's what's making it more difficult for you. That help? Right, what we can do now is, if you want to add a little bit more special sparkle to this, you can use your crystal overlay. If you've lost a little bit of the bling, the clear overlay is just pure bling in a pen. So if you just pop some bits like this at the top of the clouds, you hopefully will get a pretty little glint. When you're not seeing it maybe straight away, but if you want to, you know, if you've add a little bit of a glimmer there, when we dry it, I'll try and lift it up and let you see. So we'll put some of the bling back on there.
And the thing is with this, that this tutorial is going to remain on your Facebook page, and we're hoping to get it onto YouTube as well. So you'll be able to watch it back.
Absolutely. So do it again. It's just a bit of card. That's the thing. If you wasted hardly anything, but you've learned a lot. If you a really good skill in being able to create. Can you say that okay there, Maria?
Yep. Perfect.
Create a background like that. That then is the foundation for any of the other fairy stamps you've got, whether it's a first set, second set, any whatever stamps, your silhouette florals, anything like that, going to look super cool over that. And that's going to be a bread and butter. Change the colours out, but use the formula and the technique. So we've got a great base now, and we are ready to actually get some stamping in there. Are we ready to get stamping in there?
I think so. Have we got thumbs up for stamping now? Dawn says she's looking forward to seeing you in the workshop in July in Evesham.
Yay, fabulous. Is that the all-day one you're coming to, Dawn? Because I think we had to put a second all-day one in because we literally decided to do that on the Saturday evening, and the shop advertised Saturday evening. By Sunday lunchtime it was booked up. So thank you for that. Yeah, fabulous. We'll be playing lots of stuff. So we're going to work with these fabulous big. This is going to be the main image in this composition. So we're going to put the main image down first, and it's the big toadstool houses, which I think are super cute. And I'm going to use Stayz-on again because I know I'm going to full bleach this, and I know that Stayz-on will not lift the colour when I full bleach it, whereas the VersaFine tends to lift some colour. So ink it up well, and I'm going to position it about there. So it comes kind of a third up the page and kind of a third to the left as well. So kind of following that rule of thirds, to be honest. And then we're going to stamp it there. So we've got that cute little toadstool house. That there now is going to lend us to being able to position everything else around it. Then I think I'm going to put my little hairs in. So I've got two of them. I've got the one standing up on the right, the one standing on the left. Let's put the one on the left first. So we'll pop this little guy in. Now solid stamps, you want to make sure that you've inked them thoroughly to make sure that you get a nice solid black outline if you can. So we'll pop, oh, it's the one on the right I've done, isn't it? Okay, we'll pop him about here. There you go. So that little guy's nice and black and solid outline.
And do the acrylic stamps that they get in the USA, the same images but acrylic, do they work as well?
Yes, they work great. Yes, absolutely. Definitely. But I wouldn't clean those with that. I don't think you get stick away in the US anyway. I'm not sure, I might be wrong, but yeah. Just use the appropriate cleanup for acrylic stamps. And then we'll pop this one. Let's pop him here. And he's been a bit naughty, that one. We'll pop in there. The good thing about a silhouette stamp is you can stamp it over an open stamp. You don't have to mask it because it just blocks it out. So we've got the two little guys in there. Then we're going to pop some of the toadstools in. This solid toadstool, really cool stamp. And we're going to do some second generation stamping as well here. So ink that up well as well. And we'll pop them in the middle. We'll pop them about here. But I'm going to also stamp them a bit further back, about there. So we've got some distant ones going on. And we'll do another toadstool grouping. And then we'll second generation stamp those as well. Let's pop some of those maybe across this one. Let's pop that one there. And then we'll pop some more there. So it looks like we've got some in the foreground and in the distance.
Can you swizzle it round?
I can swizzle it round, no problem. That's a good word. Waft and swizzle. There you go. See that? So kind of just, so if you get that, and remember, as Maria said, we're going to have this so that it's on there. So if you've crafted along tonight, you go, okay, I want to do it again, and I want to take my time, you can do that, and you can pause it and just do it, stop it when you want to stop it. Cool?
Brilliant.
Lovely.
Irene, don't give up, don't leave us, keep watching.
Stay, Irene. So we've got that there. Now we're going to pop the nice floral image around the foreground. So it looks like we're looking through that into that composition. So this really pretty flower here. I'm going to start stamping around the outside, thus. I'll hold it up so you can have a look, and then I'll give you time. I'll eat another cake whilst you have a look and recap. I can do no more for you, I really am. Sacrifice sacrificing so much here for you, but you appreciate that.
Well, could you eat a cake now?
Okay.
So that we can do a little bit of catching up.
Catch up, and then I'll do some more stamping, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. What with the coffee and the sugar? Guess who's not sleeping tonight? Woo!
So what colour are you going for?
Chocolate. Yeah, I had strawberry last time. Oh, I did see that in the picture. I was prioritising my cake. Did you see? Get on that. I was all about a cake. I'll put it back. Don't panic. In fact, if I put it that way, is that easier?
Yes.
There you go. Just look at that. And think of the Vision on music. Remember that? I would hum it for you.
Through your chocolate cake.
On a good day. Yeah, through a chocolate cake. Every bit's of chocolate every. It'll be a new technique. What texture is used there? That'll be fun and fancy.
So I think a few people are a bit disheartened, but please don't give up, because Sheena does make it look easy. And I'm a novice person as well, so I know exactly what you're saying. You try and replicate the same thing and it just doesn't come out looking the same, but keep on going and it gets easier.
Absolutely, that's what workshops are for, and that's what tutorials are for.
Quite right. And I was asked to lift the camera last time, so when Sheena wasn't working, but I don't think you want to watch her eating chocolate cake. And
no.
No, she doesn't want you to watch her eating chocolate cake.
No. I'll move it there so you can see. Focus on the pretty picture and the composition.
Sorry to hear you're not good, Christine. Maybe tomorrow will be a better day. Keep on watching. Thank you for being here. So give us another flurry of thumbs up when everybody's ready and...
Yep. Alright, the cake's gone now. I'm back with you. Didn't take long. And then we can... tell you what we're going to do. We're going to continue, so as you know, stamping these florals around the outside. And then I'm going to full bleach the little toadstools. Well, I'm nearly done. God, you've done really well. Proud of you. You're all troopers.
So lots of people are asking you, you know, why can't you come to the different far-flung parts of the country, Cornwall and Wales? There's only me, Sheena.
And it takes a lot of, it's travelling time, and obviously I don't promote other people's drawings and images, I promote my own. So if I'm not drawing them, I got nothing to show you. So in between doing TVs, I'm usually designing or looking at products or you know, all the stuff that is required to get the product there for you, the stuff to play with. We try to get around there, you know. We've got workshops in Scotland coming up. Have a look. There's also another website which is the Inky Roadshow, which is workshops Donna and I deliver together. So you know, we do, considering, you know, we do our best to get around. And I definitely want to get down to the, you know, the bottom part of the UK, because you know, I've been watching Doc Martin too much, and I haven't been in that. We've been a Geordie lass. It's a long distance, you know. It's yeah, that's it. It's travelling time. So we try to do workshops maybe once every month, every 2 months, and we try to spread out as much as we can when we do that. Right, moving on. Okay, I'm going to continue stamping these little flowers here around the... Now, there's no hard and fast position that, you know, you need to do this just wherever you want. Just have them popping into the picture, because this is going to create that sense of perspective. It's going to reinforce that. We're going to be looking through them into the rest of the picture. They look like they've been lost at the minute because we need to lighten some areas. These need to be lightened so that we can see them. At the minute they're just that you wouldn't know they were there. But this is where the full bleaching is going to come in. Maybe in the middle at the bottom. God, I'm such a messy stamp. I know. Look at the ink everywhere, but it doesn't go anywhere because it's a rocker block. Woohoo! So that's what we're doing there. So just stamp those pretty flowers around, and then I'm going to start for bleaching, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So we're going to start with the toadstools. So round brush, water again, and just go ahead and start encouraging some of this paint to lift. Now, certain colours will lift better than others, and that's already been lightened quite a bit in there. So, you know, we're not going to get it back to white card. You're not, that's not going to happen. It's just going to lighten the area so you can add some more colour to it. The good thing is the colour we're going to be adding is a grey colour, so we don't have to worry too much at all about lifting much of this. So just going ahead like that, blotting, lifting, and with the flowers, this is where we want to, I'm not taking ages and painting each little flower. I'm putting a splodge of water in the middle and then moving the water across that area as quickly as that, and then splodging it. I just want to lighten some of those flowers so that we can pop a little bit of yellow on there. I'm going to use the yellow straight out the pens, undiluted, so that it's really vibrant. See, just got that little lighter area now so that you can see there's something going on, whereas before it was just really dark. It's like magic colouring books there again, more stuff from my youth. You don't know they're there, so just pop the water on, then when you blot it you'll see the lines appear. There, see the flower? You can see the detail coming out a bit now, so we'll do it again now that we've revealed where that pattern is. A bit more there. I hope you're still all with me. Have you gone in despair? Do we still have there?
We're still here.
Way! And any questions, you know, just shout up.
Dawn says she wants a workshop in Norwich. She'll provide the cake and even arrange a venue.
Well, there, Dawn. Sorted. Norwich. Yeah, fab. I mean, you know, there's places I want to get around and I want to see. Like I say, I'm a take this. We did this, you know, the first year we did the Inky Road show, and what happened was we tried to spread the venues around. You know, we were like Wirral, you know, near Liverpool, and then we were in Scotland, and then down in like Bedford area. So we tried to, you know, space it out for people. But then he wanted us back, and that came as a shock, obviously. So we went back, and it stopped us getting anywhere else. So like I say, what we'll do is, depending on, you know, how many people are requesting a certain area, that's how we did it. Because, you know, time is precious, and obviously the travelling is all part of the whole thing as well. And time, we wanted to go where we were going to get more people who wanted to play in any particular area. That was how we prioritised it. But we can, you know, if you let us know, we can look at it again and try and get round. We need like a mystery machine, like a Scooby-Doo mystery machine of a crafty nature. That'd be cool.
Dorothy says if you go up north, she's got wine.
Oh, well, there you go. Wine and cake sorted. I've got my head mapped out now, haven't I? I've got all my stops. Lovely. Definitely. I think camper van was the order of the day now, isn't it?
Terry's getting her first car tomorrow. Yay! And she says, fabulous. Workshops everywhere. Watch out.
Woohoo! Fabulous. Oh, so exciting to get your first car. I was home for months after I got my first car. Just drive. From Newcastle, I'd just go for a little tootle on a Sunday and I'd be in Jedburgh. Because you can. Right. How we doing?
I think we're good. We're good,
right.
folks.
Fabulous. What we're going to do is we're going to take this bright yellow, and you saw where we've full bleached all these little bits of these flowers. We're going to go in there and just splodge the yellow one. I'm not being careful. I'm literally splodging. Because the thing is, you need this undiluted, strong colour to show up against this background. Because there's still, the card's still quite dark in these areas. So just so that it looks like, and it's really nice because it is darker and it would be at night. You wouldn't have the as bright anyway, so it works nicely. And then we're going to go and splodge in with the green. And there's 2 greens obviously in this the hot and spicy set, and one of them is one of my favourite evergreens, and I can never remember which one. So I'm going to do a little scribble on a bit of card, and it's not that one, it's the other one. My favourite is evergreen is the green pickle. Might no, not be in a pickle. There you go. I love that green pickle colour. So I'm going to then go and just scribble over with the green. Again, not being too careful at all, just to get a lot of colour on there so that these little guys pop out. And it looks like starting to where you think, oh, it's looking a bit dark, but we've got to do a little bit of white gel pen on here, and that's where it all just comes together.
How many people do you need for a viable workshop?
Well, we normally like, you know, about 20 people, yeah, just so that we can have a good, you know, because obviously it's all the travelling and everything.
Jan is in the Amalfi Coast and she says she'll provide Prosecco.
We're there. Sorted. Jan, definite, yes, sorted. Prosecco, good location, done. It's kind of like a bidding thing now, isn't it? I'll see you Prosecco and I'll raise you 2 bottles of Prosecco. Yeah. There's nothing more to go than Prosecco, is there? Really, I sorted. So we've got that colour on there. We're going to colour the toadstools. Oh, and I'm going to colour that little, use the yellow again in the little windows of the toadstool. Just like that, when it's super bright. That's where the light's coming from there. And we need to colour it with we're going to use grey, but we haven't got any grey in the set, have we? But we do have water-based ink. So this is where your black soot, regular distress ink, or your distress oxide comes in. So you're going to splodge it like this on your mat. We're going to pick up the round brush and dilute it, definitely dilute it, and then we're going to start, you see where Donna's put the crosshatch in there, the shading. Plus we know that the moon is towards the right, so I'm putting some darker on the left hand side and then just a wash on the right. So same on there, so darker under here, and then lighter, more water, so just go over the top bit. Darker around here, those little bits. And then we can lighten it a little bit. I'm speed colouring here a little bit because I'm aware that, you know, you do have lives and some of you have got jobs tomorrow, and I don't think they'll take kindly to say, well, yes, I was crafting. I'm still crafting. A week later, still crafting with Sheena.
So if people found enough people, 20 people, and a venue, then where would they contact you or Donna for a workshop?
If you go to the Inky Roadshow and pop it on there, it's another Facebook page, and we'll pick it up. And I say wait, it'll probably be Donna, and then we'll get back to you. That'll be great. That absolutely helps massively, because finding good venues as well is really tricky. You know, it's everywhere can look great on the internet, can't it? Until you get there and you think, oh, not so good as we thought. But so yeah, that would be fabulous. So you can see how we've got the colour there on the little toadstools, darker on the left, a little bit darker where those little ripply bits are, the little fluted little edge bits, and a bit lighter on the right. The next thing I'm going to do is ground all these little guys because they're all just hovering a little bit. So same black soot, and then I'm going to go underneath the little hairs and underneath the toadstools and drag them out a little bit more. So now it looks like they're actually grounded, they're of the planet. A bit darker under there. And I can also flick some more little bits of grass and things, just using the paintbrush, just flick some more like that. If you want to add a little bit more detail. And when you play this back, I know we've been on for quite a bit here. This is we've gone through a lot of stuff. When you play it back, you can just take your time and see what's happening. Right, so that's all the colour so far on there. We're going to do, we've got 2 steps to finish the whole thing. Way! And then you have your lives back. We're going to, I'm going to dry this. We're going to go in with a white gel pen, and then I'm going to darken the edges, and I'll show you, that's going to make the middle look lighter again. So try it again. Wow, it's nearly 2 hours. Whoa. Yikes. Well, thing is, when you watch it on repeat, if anybody else who might want to, you know, look at it and hasn't joined in live, you know, it's time to fast forward bits if they need to. But I'm hoping that most of it's been relevant, to be honest. I haven't even, you know, waffled. I only ate cake when I had to. Right, so white pen. I'm going to go across here on the right hand side of these toadstools, because that's where the light's going to be catching, and just add a little bit of a highlight like this, a bit up where that little fluted bit is, like that. Just a little bit, less is more with your white gel pen.
Which make of white gel pen are you using?
There's a thing, I've got a couple. Yeah, this is still my favourite, I've got to be honest. It's a uniball one, yeah, uniball, and it's the one that stays is the whitest. Some of them, they don't like deliver, or they dry up. This has definitely been the best one I've used so far, so I would definitely recommend that one. So a little bit of a highlight like that. Right, the little bit on this little blokey back here. See how it's now really popping out of the card, hopefully. These little toadstools there, you can put a little bit of highlight on them. And it gives them definition now. You can see that they're there again. Pop a little bit grasses down if you want to. Add a little bit of something going on in amongst them. Little flicky things. These toadstools again, just a little bit on the top, just so it looks like the moonlight's catching. The distant ones I'm not bothering, the ones that were 2nd generation stamped. Now the hair, because the moon's kind of there, I'm going to just pop a little bit on his whiskers, on these little bits. Maybe a little bit top of his arm, top of his leg.
So people are saying once a month sounds absolutely fantastic, and Sunday's a good night.
Hey! It's like workshops when you want to come back. It's always a surprise. Wow. Okay, so there you go. Just kidding. So we've got the highlights on there. See now the pop. Now it looks got some life to it. And these are going to look so much better when you just do a little scribble on the flowers like that. I'm not carefully colouring in flowers. I'm just scribbling zigzags where they are. A little bit on the leaves and a little bit on there. Now they're popping out. See the difference?
Can you move the card to your left just slightly?
To my left, that
That's
way.
It, thank you.
Yeah.
The pen is a uniball.
Yeah, uniball. And it is definitely, it's white. I've got another make there. I'm not going to tell you because I'm only going to tell you the good things, not bad things about anything. But this one is a good one. The other one I have isn't quite as white. So, you know, focusing on all the positive, this is the one I would get. Speed scribbling here. Now what we might do is, if anybody wants this card, we should do some way of getting it to you, shouldn't we?
To your left again, Sheena.
The left, that way again.
And down towards
Down.
you. Thank you.
Yes. Can you still see this bit here?
Yep.
Okay. And then we can sign it and somebody can take it, and then you've actually got the card that we worked through together. We'll pick somebody from the comments maybe, how about that? Just have a random pick of comment, and then if you want to, you can take it, and then you've got the one that we did together. You deserve it. Right, okay. That there, got the highlights in it. I'm going to dry it really quickly, just set the white gel pen. And then the final thing is to make the outside darker so the inside looks lighter. And then it looks more nighttime and you've got the glow in the middle. And to do that, I'm going to use my Distress Oxide. It could be a regular Distress ink. My applicator. And I'm going to go a little bit around there. Not too much in because I don't want to lose those pretty colours we put in there. But just a little bit to the outside. See, it's covering that flower, but you can still see it's there. We haven't completely lost the flower. Bottom a little bit darker. And then we've got that really pretty now where you're looking into the picture and all the middle seems to glow, and it's like as if you're looking at a secret little gathering there of these little fairy people.
Alison says it looks magical now.
Thank you. So that's there. And then to finish it off, just something simple. Obviously, there's fabulous wording and things on it. And again, I have to say, Debbie, this was the inspiration. The thing is, you know, I play and I do things, and then I see what my team have made, and I think, wow, they're stunning. So I like to, where I can, replicate in my way them, maybe with a twist as well, you know, because even if you make a card and you want to make it again, chances of it being a carbon copy is pretty slim, you know, unless you've given very few elements, you're just simply stamping. Once you get colour into the mix and technique into the mix, they're never going to be exactly the same. So taking inspiration from other people's cards, I think, especially my design team, that's what they're there for. They want you to be inspired by what they're doing, and they want to share and tell you how they've done it. Just if you do, obviously, give them the name check and give them the credit for helping it out, which is what I'm doing now with Debbie's fabulous original creation. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I've got a lot of tidying up to do now. Oh, might be done in the morning. Although saying that, I've had a lot of coffee and a lot of sugar, so might be done tonight. You never know. Let me know if you want to do them again and what you would like. We'll have another little a regroup, and you can feedback what you'd be interested in, and we'll look at the most popular one and we'll work through it. Things like maybe technique books, little flip technique books we're thinking, or of course there's new stamps and products coming out all the time. Just let me know, and we'll have a bit play together in future if you can endure another one.
Big thank you from everybody.
Thank you. It's been lovely. Cheers for that.